ladies and gentlemen, the parish. We are reversing the ping situations. Very significantly, by the way, as we can see with Han in particular there on the survivor side on 294 ping there, which, my goodness, is a rough situation to be in for that poor fellow. Delayed 2, yeah. I mean, to be honest, 2 seconds sounds about right, really, especially for the 300 ping man. Boomer is jumping around on the rooftop there. That's going to be a nice jockey, and it's a death charge. What on earth just happened, ladies and gentlemen? What? Okay, well, separation jockey is making a lot happen there. What the heck? Okay, well, jockey is still going as well, by the way. That is absolutely ruthless. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, we have experienced something I'm sure we're really not used to here, a death charge on map number 1. My goodness, they're down to 3 survivors. Slow dancer, not quick enough with the dancing there, unfortunately. Ended up getting pinned. Hunter moving in for Ellis on the bus, ends up landing. Charger is looking for the interception, but can't quite get it. That is going to be a stumble, actually. That won't be a charge. That will be a stumble in this bit for a brief period, but my goodness. I still can't get over that death charge, really. I did not anticipate that with anything in me to happen the way it did. The only advantage they really have from that situation is that Slow Dancer can now free roam and spectate. Survivors are going to look to get straight into the safe room. Tank is right in their face, though, so how are they going to do that? Tank knows what they're doing as well. He's going to look to delay them, and that car is hittable. They're not really going to get to the safe room here, let's be honest. Charger is going to land as well as the Hunter, and the Tank is going to secure the deal here. So it's definitely a switching dynamic here. 2,669 points in total for the Latin Americans. I mean, goodness gracious me, let's see if we experience another death charge, because it's, as we can see, very possible. Definitely lost my words for a second there. That's not something you expect to see in a tournament, but overall, well played to Winserial, really. Well played to the Europeans, the Euros. Going live straight away here, Latin America versus Europe on the second half of Parish Map 1. Boomer gets popped straight away by Winserial, the ping advantage working in their favour. Charger moving in, can't quite get the connection, neither can the jockey, and, well, I mean, therefore neither can the smoker, neither can anything else. 0 damage on the board, inflicted by the specially infected. Staggered spawn timers as well. We have a Hunter, but there's still a few more seconds remaining on the other spawn timers. Boomer and a Spitter, followed by a Hunter and a Charger. That's a good setup, actually. There's a lot of potential to make the Spitter work there. Survivors being slow and cautious here, looking to try to trigger this tank. Hunter is repositioning. Taking 7 damage, not really enough to worry about for his sake. Boomer spawns up, gets a boom onto 1 survivor. Charger is moving in, gets the connection, only for a brief period though. That will be followed by a Spitter. And that will be followed by significant damage onto Rochelle. However, that's simply all she wrote. Survivors will be triggering the tank, and unlike the predecessors, because they have 4 survivors, they won't be trying to rush into the safe room here. I must say though, they're definitely very advantageous for the Euros here. That's going to be a jockey spawning up, but he's going to be dead stopped and killed. That's going to be a Boomer, ready and waiting. Going to be dropping onto the survivors, getting dead stopped actually. Still in the middle of the survivors, but they dead stopped the hell out of that Boomer and end up clearing it. I must say though, the advantages and disadvantages don't really match up here in terms of the server, which is difficult to achieve, mind you. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. It is difficult, and you know, it's as fair as you can make it. But certainly the Europeans do have a slight advantage here in terms of their pings, really. Tank continuing to throw some rocks. I mean, I like what he's doing, because you can actually land some rocks that way, but it is a little bit dependent on luck. Tank looking to make its way in here. Climbing onto the roof, first and foremost. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter is the tri-cap. In moves the Tank, looking for the first punch, which gets the first punch off the back of the Smoker. That's going to be several more punches landed onto Ellis, followed by the Smoker. Charger does not land though, unfortunately. Get up animation from the Hunter is enough. However, Tank E is going to be falling to the survivors here. Not really much to speak of in that tank fight, and to be honest, I couldn't speak anyway because I had acid reflux. But there we have it. Tank has now died to the survivors, and they have 2 sets of pain pills, and, well, nobody really needs them. Boomer and a Spitter, followed by a Jockey and a Hunter for the special infected. Boomer first onto one survivor is actually successful. Nothing else following in though. Hunter is going to be wall kicking 4 damage pounds, followed by Spit, and the Jockey is shut down. But that is going to be temporarily double split damage, and that is going to be onto the correct target as well. That being Nick. Onwards and upwards for the survivors here. I mean, they have a good health bonus right now. They have 1 more attack to endure. Coach moves in first. They end up triggering the alarm car, and Rochelle is smoked in the back there. That is all she wrote for the Smoker, though. Charger moving in, so effortlessly shut down, and a one-shot skeet from the Europeans. And Boomer is not going to land anything there. So, there we have it. Survivors, they didn't quite take the lead back, but it is 2,669 points in the hands of the Latin Americans, otherwise known as Judgment, versus definitely much closer now, 2,233 points in the hands of Team Winserial. Innuendo. When you say first map, do you mean the whole of chapter, as in like the previous chapter, or do you mean just chapter 1? Do you mean all the chapters of the previous game, or just this one? First game. Okay, yeah. So the first game was definitely in favor of the Latin Americans, I must say. They definitely played far more dominantly. And hence why they are currently in the lead. But as we see now, the advantage has now shifted into the side of the Europeans, and they are currently taking that lead that they lost back. But yes, definitely more favourable of a performance from the Latin Americans. They definitely did play very, very well on the first game. Unfortunately, though, that did kind of switch out of their favour, really, because they got death charged on chapter number 1, which is so unfortunate for them, and that really wasn't favourable, I have to say. But of course, yes, it is worth mentioning, as Rails just said there, yeah, it's not really a true home and away, if I'm honest, because as Rails has detailed, there's a little bit of instability, going on, and they had to use a southern US server, which was located in Dallas, Texas. And now that we're on the European side, if we do remember correctly, the Latin Americans had 2 people on high ping. Now they have 4 people on high ping. So technically, it's not a perfectly balanced whatchamacallit, pings, but It does appear that the tank fights are not fully operational. And in the meantime, I'm going to be sipping on some water as we wait for these teams to ready up. I mean, yeah, maybe perhaps Europe would have been slightly better. You're broken. The banter is real. However, we are going live in chapter number 2 of this installment. This is, of course, the second half on the parish. Smoker first, onto Rochelle, Charger seconds, can't quite get the interception. Hunter can't get the damage pounce either, that will be Smoker landing for a brief period. However, I mean, that's not the worst shutdown in the world, to be honest. And they shall be moving forward, more than likely going on to the left side here, because that's traditionally what Survivor sides usually do here. Which, of course, they are indeed going to do. Going to be a Jockey, Smoker, and a Hunter tri-cap with the Spitter. Not really in the best location for that setup, I must say. Winserial don't really have the advantageous Special Infected setup here. You'd probably rather a Boomer, at the very least, you know, because the Spitter in an open area is difficult. It's not an easy task. Survivors gradually making their way forward, though. They're going to be dealing with this tri-cap eventually. Let's just see how it does pan out. Hunter and Jockey both moving in, as well as the Smoker. Hunter is shot down in one shot, though. It's nice separation. Jockey just barely getting cleared before he can get right behind the corner there. Can we just put into context, by the way, that that was a one-shot skeet committed by somebody who is on over 200 ping? Or is he? Or on maybe exactly 200 ping. So that's very well played. Very, very well played indeed. Charger and a Boomer, followed by a Hunter and a Jockey. Hunter is spawned up, just pouncing around, being a nuisance. Going to be moving in for the Survivors with the help of the Charger, of which connects with the door frame, unfortunately. That's a very nice interception from the Jockey, though, allowing the... Look at the damage! Oh my goodness, and a triple boom as well. Ooh. Well, that shifted very quickly. You hate to see it if you're the Latin Americans. You love to see it if you're the Euros. Survivors will be making their way forward here. They have not yet triggered the tank, and well, I mean, it's looking like they don't really care about that as they make their way through the crescendo. That's going to be Jockey first, Smoker second. That's going to be a quad charge, literally a quad charge. Spitter is going to be capitalizing on it as well. All 4 Survivors falling victim to the Charger, and oh, even an achievement coming out there, Scattering Ram from Ziniox, getting all 4 Survivors with the Charger. That is brutal. And the tank is spawning up here, so, I mean, you can't help but wonder that this is definitely shifting away from the Latin Americans right now. In moves the tank. He's moving straight in for the Survivors. Going to be landing the first punch onto Coach. Boom onto one Survivor as well. Hunter is going to get that stumble more than likely, as is the Jockey, actually. That's going to allow some punches onto Ellis. A double punch as well onto Nick and Ellis. Axe is going to be whipped out by Nick there. Going to be swinging his heart out at that tank, but unfortunately there's so much happening here and none of it favors the Survivors. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one Survivor remaining, that being Coach. He will be shut down by the Smoker, followed by the tank. And, well, that is all she wrote, really. The tank actually did nearly die there, with 44% of the damage being inflicted by the 200 ping Skeeter style. And we move on to the second half of chapter number 2 here on the parish. I mean, as I say though, the momentum is definitely shifting away from the Latin Americans here, which sort of, I mean, it's understandable, don't get me wrong, because the ping advantage is very much in favor of the Europeans, especially considering the server is in fact in Russia, where most of them are. And we shall be going live, ladies and gentlemen. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter, followed by the Boomer. Going to be a hand tank here on chapter number 2, as Rochelle is the first Survivor to leave the safe room. Just simply to clear some common infected. Boomer is positioned behind the van as well. Going to be getting the boom onto Rochelle first and foremost. Charger moving in. Nice double charge in the door frame, actually. I mean, not much is going to happen from it, admittedly. Apart from the smoke outside, I mean, actually, do you know what? Not bad damage. Not bad damage, all things considered. But of course, as good old Harambe in the chat points out, the Europeans do need to maintain a good level of gameplay if they want to come back from this, because they are still behind, and they cannot forget that.
Reload.
Spitter and a boomer with the charger and the jockey.
I'm gonna mess some zombies up now.
Slightly more favourable setup, I must say, for the Latin Americans. Let's just see how they do pull it off here.
Reloading.
Boomer Rocket Boom is dead stopped and shut down. Very well played by the survivors there. Charger moves in, tries to get a connection, but he can't do so. Jockey tries to get somebody into the spit, but again, he also can't do so. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Survivors are making their way forward out into the open area just below the bridge.
Hey, I'm reloading.
And Han is actually on 0 points there, so a little bit of banter coming out, which you love to see. You love to see the banter. Boomer is shut down though in 0.7 seconds by Frey, the man from Česká republika. Hunter above the survivors is just crouching around, being a nuisance. Being an audible nuisance. That is the Spitter going to be moving in by her lonesome self, just simply to get rid of the Spitter. And they do indeed move backward here. They have a Charger, Smoker and a Hunter to deal with, which more than likely they're going to be waiting for that to be completed, which could even be a quad cap, to be honest with you. Which is indeed a quad cap. So ladies and gentlemen, the Latin Americans are now in possession of a hefty quad cap. Let's just see what they can do with it. And in they move with it. Hunter lands, Jockey lands, but unfortunately Smoker is popped so quickly. Charger can't really make anything happen. Not even any scratches, it doesn't look like. Oh, well, he was alive for a long time there, to be honest. But Survivor's taking a much more defensive approach to this crescendo, which of course results in them making their way backward here. Boom onto one survivor by proxy to set things up. However, the Spitter is a little bit staggered there, and that leaves the Smoker and Hunter to go by themselves. Hunter first, well, Hunter second actually, is going to be shut down. Does allow the Smoker to get some damage. Now, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, they are taking a fair bit of damage here. Team Winserial, they're not in the clear right now. They already have the reality of Rochelle having to take her pain pills during the tank fight. She doesn't have any option. She's 2 punches away from being capped if she doesn't take them. Spitter and a Boomer, followed by a Jockey and a Charger. In the hands of the Special Infected. Jockey is dead stops and shut down. Charger can't make anything happen. Neither can the Boomer or the Spitter. And that is all she wrote. Am I missing something in the chat here? I would kiss you if I was of age. Whoa! Thank you very much for the compliment. I do appreciate the compliment, but of course... That's very nice. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. There is a Smoker, Hunter and a Jockey in the hands of the Special Infected. Boomer moving in. Getting popped though. Hunter is moving in as well as the rest. Not really much happening, but then again the damage is piling up though. For sure. Definitely piling up, especially when we consider Rochelle, so they have to be careful of that, they really do. You know, they have an empty crescendo to get through now as well, so that crescendo will be made non-empty if the Boomer lands. Tank is going to be spawning in the hands of aforementioned Han. There is going to be the Boomer in the hands of Style. Now let's just see what happens here. That is a one-person boom. Tank is satisfied with that and will be moving in with it. Going to be swapping focus away from Ellis there. Nice Charger followed by a punch onto the survivors. Rock is going to be underhand onto Nick, followed by several more punches onto him. 3 damage pounds on a separated survivor, of which they can't quite clear until now. That's going to be 2 punches onto him. Well played tank fight so far, to be honest with you. Curve rocks will be committed here. Well, that wasn't really a curve rock. I think it was an attempt, though. Jockey is moving in to delay the survivors, stumble onto them, followed by a missed punch, unfortunately. That's so unfortunate. Smoker separation followed by punch onto Rochelle is probably where it's going to end here. The rock is not successful, and, well, Tank is going to be losing his life here. Survivors do successfully survive the tank fight, and the Horde is after the tank as well. So, they did move in with a one-person boom, mind you, but, maybe slightly too hasty, but of course they still have the rest of the map to traverse, Team Winserial, so let's just see how they do end up playing this. They have not really the best health bonus for a comeback, really, so, you know, this is kind of off limits in terms of a huge comeback, let's say. Hunter on 84 HP, though, he's definitely been reduced significantly. Charger, Hunter, Boomer, and a Jockey. Boomer, first and foremost, is shut down, though. Well played by Stage there to notice that. They will also be shutting down the Hunter mid-air, and as well as everything but the Charger, so there we have it. Only a Charger remains. 6 seconds for one spawn. That is going to be a Charger and a Smoker so far. They, of course, do want to put their focus onto Coach, really, because Coach is in possession of the majority of the health bonus. Survivor's just there, just patiently waiting behind the door frame. Charger has actually spawned, though, and has been forced to retreat. Not the wisest pre-spawn in the world. Boomer is shut down, Smoker is also shut down, as well as the Charger. My goodness, the shutdowns are unreal here. And I imagine, yeah, they're not going to take the pain pills with Coach there, because when you do preserve the pain pills, you do get extra health bonus. So he is going to keep a hold of them. Nobody really is in desperate need of taking them. Jockey, Charger, and a Hunter, followed by the Boomer. Hunter is noticed and shut down, though. Charger can't really make much happen. Very staggered attack. And that is all she wrote. Survivors do, I mean, as I said, I wrote this off as like a significant comeback. It wasn't going to be, but, well, this game has gotten awfully close all of a sudden, because they have taken the lead. Winserial. With 2 chapters remaining. 3,061 points in the hands of Team Winserial, which puts the Latin Americans at, well, a pretty exact deficit, actually, of 40. So 40 points is currently separating these two teams. Ladies and gentlemen, Winserial versus Judgment. And as I have previously said on multiple occasions, the Judgment Day is upon us as we speak. So let us gather forth and observe what unravels in this very peculiar game with a map 1 death charge and, well, all sorts of very strange buffoonery happening in this very strange game, but of course very entertaining at the same time. Nice to see some familiar faces in the chat as well, that being many people with you know, Harambe, Busty, Rails, so on and so forth. I do recognize those names, so welcome to the stream, gentlemen. Tank spawn reset to 40%, just waiting on one more Winserial player. So with this 40-point advantage, is it enough? Is it not? And that is the question we have on our minds in this present moment. Well, at least on my mind. I don't know what's on everybody else's mind, but, you know, on my mind, I'm wondering how this game is going to go. Boomer drops down. Very nicely spawned, actually, to be honest, onto one survivor. Combining with a spitter, that could actually be a good tactic, to be honest. You know, shame they didn't really have a spitter to make something happen there. But, of course, that spawn is going to be replaced pretty soon. Hunter is going to be respawning here. Doesn't really want to give that away. It will be replaced from a Boomer into a spitter. Hunter is moving in here first and foremost. Charger gets a nice charge there, and the spit will follow. That's going to be a charge onto Coach. That's a very good result, actually, to be honest. Considering their pings, that is decent damage. But yes, indeed, no surf. It is in fact green ping versus red ping right now. Definitely more favourable for the Europeans, but the Latin Americans for sure are not giving up though. You know, because this game is still pretty close. There are 2 more chapters remaining, so let us just see how it ends up going. Hunter is moving in first for the survivors, lands onto Nick, but very temporarily. Charger lands onto Ellis as well, actually, as well as the jockey. So you know they're getting some damage here. Despite the fact that their attacks are somewhat staggered, you know, they are landing some damage. And especially considering Ellis is behind as well and has crashed, so that's an unfortunate position to be in. Ellis behind there, literally holding the axe and doing nothing with it. Literally just being pummeled by common infected from every which way. Looking like we will be going live pretty soon. Hopefully, as I've said many times, everybody is having a wonderful evening, morning, night, or afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Never get tired of saying that, to be honest. I love that little catchphrase. All in all, though, we do have a very close game on our hands here. Unfortunate about the pause. And yeah, I mean these the Latin Americans are not particularly happy with the pings. It looks like. I mean, you know, I only speak a little Spanish, but I can tell they're not happy. Let's just say that. Boomer and a spitter, followed by a hunter and a smoker. Boomer from behind, so nicely shut down. Reaction time's on point there. Smoker does pull into the spit though. Oh, that is brutal. Very well played by the Latin Americans. That's what they need. They need damage of that caliber. And the hunter scratches as well are adding onto it. So, well, that was well played, to be honest. And they will be coming up to the tank fight pretty soon here. Indeed, now, actually. Tank going to be in the hands of Slow Dancer. Slow dancing their way up that ladder and onto the rooftop. Smoker, Boomer, and a jockey is the supporting setup for the special infected. Tank really just assessing options here. Not much more you can do, to be honest. Maintaining line of sight is difficult. Will be attempting that though. Boomer is shut down. Rock is going to just barely be skeeted by Ellis there. I was going to go nuts there, to be honest, if that rock landed. That would have been such a good result. Survivors are actually choosing to move even further back, though. Tank's still on pass number 1, so it's not going to affect him too badly. But, you know, they're being definitely much more defensive here, Team Winserial, which you can understand. You can understand it. They've only just barely scraped back a lead, so they don't want to get rid of it by any means. Hunter, Charger, and a Smoker in the hands of the special infected. Tank is looking to move in here. He's satisfied with the setup. Smoker is going to be looking to try to set up a punch here, but can't quite do so. Ellis needs to be careful here. He's very separated, actually, and will be punched to his in-cap. I don't believe much more is going to happen here, to be honest, though. There's not much more to help him with. Hunter is moving in. So nicely shut down, though, is the Hunter. That's going to be Rochelle eventually pinned in the corner, so that will be 2 more punches? Nope, just 1 more punch. And that is all she wrote. The tank fight comes to an abrupt end. Definitely not abrupt for the survivors, though. That's favourable for them.
No problem, Ellis.
Survivors, of course, now in a favourable position here, because if they can maintain this health bonus and make it into the safe room, well, they're going to take the lead quite far. That's going to be a boom onto 1 survivor. Charger moving in, shut down so effortlessly, though. That's, oh my goodness, that is clean shutdowns. That is what you would call clean. Spongy clean, in fact. Discreet and Innuendo, those are some more familiar names, and as I am now familiar with Blob, don't really know you too well, Blob, but I've seen your name many times, and I do like your name, so I just thought I'd give you a shout out because I like your name.
Reloading.
That's going to be the Boomer shut down on the rooftop. Hunter moves in, temporarily landing onto Nick, but that is all she wrote.
Yeah, I'll take the shotgun.
Smoker and a charger for the special infected. That's going to be Coach dropping down first. The remaining going to be dropping down now. They have a little bit more of the map to traverse, but I mean, you know, they're looking favourable, really, the Europeans. Let's just see how much longer that can be maintained, though. Charger is behind that van there. Spitter is going to move in first, just simply to delay them, really, to get them off the ladder for the time being. And up they move, Smoker first. Well, it's a nice dual cap, but the Charger can't really make much else happen. There will be some scratches, followed by an alarm car trigger. And onwards and upwards, they do move. 10 seconds to go before the next attack. That will be a continuous horde for the time being. And the attack is just about to come up now, that being a Spitter and a Boomer with a Jockey and a Hunter. On paper, that sounds like a terrible setup, but... well, actually, no, it is terrible, to be honest, because unfortunately the Boomer gets himself shut down. That's so unfortunate. Hunter is going to move in regardless with the Jockey. Jockey is going to be shut down, and that Hunter-Spit combination couldn't quite execute. So there we have it. And Monolith, yeah, they did. The reason they did that, shooting all the cars, is just, yeah, it's already been described. so there we go. It's already been described by the boy Blue. I do not need to say anything further. That's going to be a Smoker Charger and a Jockey, followed by a Boomer. Going to be the Tri-Cap. Jockey, not a Jockey, excuse me. That is a very overweight Jockey. That is a Boomer moving in, getting shut down though, as is the Smoker in the back. Only a Charger remains, and he doesn't quite get the rocket spawn as well. So, going to be spawning behind the little wallway there, but Jockey is also going to land. Door will be shut, and survivors, you know, very dominantly putting themselves into the safe room. 153 points per successful survivor, by the way. That is hectic. And we now move on to the second half of the parish. Wait, no, the second half of Parish Chapter 3. Not Parish, this is, we're not really halfway. I guess technically we are halfway, to be honest, because we're on Chapter number 3. So I guess mathematically we're sort of in the middle. But of course we are only playing, we're not playing the finale, so there is that to consider. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Charger. Boomer is spawned up first, but Boomers can afford to spawn a little bit early here. Then again, didn't quite get the boom though. Charger rockets in for the survivors. That's going to be a Hunter looking to intercept the Smoker. He does actually do so, and that's going to be some damage. However, not too much to concern themselves with. Staggered spawn timers as well. There's going to be one spawn coming up now, of which is the Spitter. And the last remaining spawns still have 3 seconds at the time of speaking. And they are awarded a Spitter and a Boomer with the Smoker and Jockey. Smoker from behind onto Rochelle. That's decent. That's opening up some opportunities. Oh, Jockey and the Spit as well. Everybody on Rochelle. It's just literally everybody pile on Rochelle. And, well, it worked. It definitely worked in their favour there. Survivor's going to drop down this choke point here. They did suffer a big hit there, I have to say. But nonetheless, they will be continuing their journey onwards and upwards. The Latin Americans, it's very crucial they make it to the safe room here, to be honest with you. Quad cap in the hands of Winserial, though, and that's not good news. Smoker first onto Nick. That's a lot of separation. Hunter is moving in for the interception. They can't quite clear the Smoker. Jockey is going to be dead stop there, but nobody's died just yet. Jockey eventually dies. Smoker is still going, and eventually everybody but the Charger will be falling to their demise. Their health bonus has been quite greatly reduced there. I wouldn't say it's GG just yet, but it's definitely looking favourable, as I say, for the survivors. Nice charge as well on the little staircase there onto Coach. That's going to be some further damage. Not over until the fat lady sings. Okay, I will take your advice. That's going to be the tank on the rooftop, just continuing to throw some rocks there. It will be shut down very easily, though. That's going to be Stage's tank here. It's his stage to play the tank. They do have to be so careful as to how they play this round, though, the survivors. Smoker first, Charger second, Hunter third. Was that a successful rock? I don't believe it was, actually. No, it was, I believe, actually. He's on 108. Was it? I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't actually see if that was a successful rock or not, to be honest. Survivors will be equally as defensive. They are going to be making their way back. Not literally to the safe room, but they are going to be going in that direction. Tank will continue to throw some rocks. That's a double boom, followed by a rock onto Ellis, as well as a jockey moving in as well. I mean, does the tank even need to go in? I mean, he's not going to. He is actually maintaining line of sight. So, I mean, look at the damage. My goodness. I mean, to be honest, guys, it's not looking good for the Latin Americans right now. They really need to survive with this exact health bonus they have if they want any sort of, like, you know, any sort of chance. Of course, we are still going to be here. We're still going to be commentating the game, but, well, Europeans definitely the more dominant side now that they have the ping advantage. Smoker going to be moving in from the front. Damage pounce is not quite successful. Charger is moving in. No rocks are successful, and neither is the Charger. And that they shut down that attack pretty well. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Or JDs and Lentilmen. That's going to be a Boomer Jockey and a Hunter, so it's going to be a 2-1. In moves the tank. He's satisfied with that attack. Boomer is not noticed at all. That's going to be a triple boom there. And Tank is looking for the only non-boom survivor. And jumps to dodge the stumble as well, which Rochelle doesn't do. So well played by the tank there to actually dodge the stumble. That's going to be a dual cap attempt, which is pulling out. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a wipe, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. 4,273 points in the hands of Winserial. 3,264 points in the hands of, well, Judgment. We do have what looks to be a little bit more than 1,000 points separating these two teams. So, in we move into the last chapter, which is going to be the ultimate deciding factor as to who wins this gosh darn game. For a moment I saw myself load in as GB and I had Krychas in my name and I thought, wait, what? Why are you in Britain? But then I realized. Fourth and final chapter of not only this half, but also the entire game. It is going to be an early tank as well, 29%. So, I mean, if you're behind, you're going to want an early tank because you want the survivors to be wiped ASAP. With one-shot discreet IRL. Oh dear, we have some beef. We have served the beef. But yes, I know it's friendly beef. We do have one more person waiting to ready up, and we shall be going live here. Have you seen Crash's Instagram? And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Boomer first. Very early getting a boom onto one survivor, but I mean, not really much more will follow from that. there is a hunter, jockey, and a spitter, so that's either going to be a smoker or a charger, is what that's going to be. Let's just see what happens. It is going to be a smoker, so it's not the charger, which they probably were hoping for, to be honest. Smoker first, Hunter is going for the damage bounce, can't get it. Will be getting the Hunt Spit combination on Nick, though, and, well, I mean, that's the best they can really hope for there. Onwards and upwards for the European humans versus the Latin American special infected here. Going to be the charger, smoker, and jockey completed with a boomer. Boomer first with the smoker. That's going to be a stumble from the charger. That's going to be a smoke in the back. So again, the damage is coming out. And look, ladies and gentlemen, as we can see, they are capable. Definitely more than capable. It's just, you know, the ping advantage isn't really working in their favor. What's funny about Latin Americans? These guys literally have Latin Americans in their team. Boomer, charger, and a hunter is going to be the supporting setup for the tank, of whom is trying that dumpster. He's trying to make it happen. But, I mean, as we can see, it's definitely... It's difficult. Very, very difficult. Then again, I mean, it is in play. Can he make this happen? A few more hits here, and could even actually get this dumpster into play. This is what they're hoping for, actually, and the dumpster is in play. Well, can he make anything happen with it now? In it moves, just barely missing coach there, that's unfortunate. And, well, the dumpster has to be abandoned here, but he's going to try to chase somebody back into that room there, which they are having none of it. That's going to be Charger moving in, trying for some stumbles. Tank is just caught on everything, though, and unfortunately, Hunter is shut down, and the tank is not really making much happen here. He is completely obliterated. I mean, he was looking in the driver's seat. You know, he was for a moment, for a fleeting moment. But then, of course, the survivors retreated at just the right time, and my goodness, they are looking pretty darn good. Boomer and a spitter, followed by a smoker and a charger. Boomer moves in first, gets a boom onto two survivors, that being a charge spit combination, double spit as well, actually. Good damage onto Rochelle. However, I mean, they're going to be looking for a whole lot more than that. They really are. And the lead is only further extending, which, you know, if the survivors make it into the safe room with any sort of health bonus, it's pretty much unwinnable. So unfortunate, though, it really is, for the Latin Americans. They were playing so well on their home fixture. Jockey moves in for Ellis, dead stops and shut down, though. And that's going to be a boom onto one. Triple charge, and can the Hunter get the last remaining? He can't, unfortunately. Still a triple charge, though, and still something. But there we have it. Not looking in a favourable position are the unfortunate Latin American special infected. And yeah, this is a home away fixture. This one in particular. Before this, it was home to the Latin American side and away to the Europeans, and now it's reversed. Boomer onto two survivors. Jockey moving in with the spitter. Nothing can really happen from it, though. That's a stumble, but it wasn't in the spit, unfortunately, for the jockey and the spitter. Spitter tries to get some further delays, but that is all she wrote for the special infected. Your eyes do not deceive you, that is indeed Blob, the one and only. So far we have a charger followed by a hunter, and in 2 seconds it's going to be a boomer and a jockey. So we do have the tri-cap with the boomer. Hunter is crouched, ready and waiting. Curve vomit from the balcony there onto one survivor. Hunter is moving in, can't make anything happen, neither can really anything besides the Hunter for just a brief period. But I mean, there's no incapacitations. And that's definitely not favourable for the special infected. Blob can wipe an entire team with 4 charges. You should run with it, man. You should just say, yeah, that is me. I am the Blob. Charger is moving in. Getting shut down so quickly, though, as is the Boomer. Smoker from behind, in front, excuse me. Spitter from behind. But that is not going to be very much damage. And the survivors, you know, they've taken a lot of damage, but... there we have it. Survivors are very close to the safe room here. And Ellis is so far ahead as well, just clearing those common infected.
Hey, we got a safe room ahead.
What is the square root of Blob, I wonder? That would be an interesting equation. Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey, followed by a Boomer. Jockey and Hunter both moving in. Both skeeted, though, to be honest. Hunter is... Charger, excuse me, is looking for some spawns behind those pillars. Couldn't quite do so, though. Charger moves in first. He gets the bunny hops, but, I mean, focus fire from 4 people, followed by the Boomer getting shut down as well. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be honest with you, and, you know, I'm not a dishonest person. Winserial have won, to be honest with you. 5,761 points, so they have gotten themselves a very large amount of points here. So essentially, Judgment are mostly playing for honor here, if I am honest. But this, of course, is going to be the one more spraying, and I kick you from friends this time. But yes, waiting on one more player from Team Winserial, and we shall be going live. This is going to be the last half of the last chapter here, which, of course, is going to conclude this installment. Then again, to be honest, as I say, it is already concluded, really. Jockey moves in, but he ends up retreating because he chooses against the idea. Boomer dropping down, getting a boom onto one survivor. Hunter and Spitter will combine with each other in the corner there onto Rochelle. And a stumble in the spit onto Coach as well. Oh my goodness, that's definitely not favourable damage at all. Although no damage is really favourable, to be honest. Survivors moving onwards and upwards. That's really all they can do, to be honest. They have no real way of mathematically winning this. So, then again, there is a quad cap in the hands of Winserial. Let's see what they can do with it. Charger does land. Hunter is moving in, and well, everybody but the Smoker. Smoker lands. It is not. It is a quad cap, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, had no idea what I was saying there, to be honest. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The final result, 5,761 points in the hands of Team Winserial, the victorious champions, versus the lesser fortunate, the losers of this match, unfortunately. The Judgment, they are going to be at 3,386 points. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We do have another match, which we're going to be bringing to you ASAP. Just going to be looking to configure that.